Shabbat Shalom. In this week's parsha, Parshat Noach, we read about two fantastic stories. The first half of the parsha, Noah and the flood. The second half of the parsha, the story of the Tower of Babel. I would like to focus my comments today about the story of the Tower of Babel. In the story, the people rebel against God. They build a tower with extending all the way to the heavens with the intent of going to war against God. In the story, God comes down, descends from the top, sees what they are doing, and confuses all the languages. Then when one calls out, "Pass me the hammer," he gets a brick. When he says, "Pass me the bucket," he gets a ladder. And the whole confusion of languages leads to the implosion of the project and people moving away from the tower, which is left to crumble and is lost in the dusts of history. The question I have to ask you is based on the following. In 1994, a project of incredible engineering was completed. It was known as the Chunnel project and linked France to England. A high-speed train traveling at over 160 kilometers per hour were allowed to travel from London into Paris. It was a fantastic engineering feat. But what was amazing is that we're talking about two different languages, English and French. And yet together, they are able to construct the Chunnel tunnel. Why was it that they succeeded, but the people of Babel failed? I believe the answer is very simple. When it came to the Chunnel project, the people were united in their approach for the betterment of both societies. It made such a difference to have a high-speed train that linked England with continental Europe. And thus, the fact that there was a language barrier became no barrier because there was a common goal, a common interest that united them. When it came to building the Tower of Babel, there were selfish motivations. There was intention to rebel. And when the languages became confused, there was no love between them, and thus the whole project imploded. There's a powerful message in here, which I want to share with you today. When it comes to projects, we have to ask, there's always going to be disagreements. There's always going to be a lack of communication. People are going to speak, not necessarily in different languages, but even when they're speaking the same language, they can have different intentions. And the question you have to ask yourself is, what is the motivation over here? Is it for the bigger goal, or is it something selfish and something more personal? And if you find that there's no common group, that the common project, supposedly common project, is just a means to advance certain agendas or certain values or certain egos, then the language is going to lead to implosion and destruction. But when there's love and fellowship and a goal that is motivated not by personal greed or ego, but for the betterment of community and society and country, one finds that the language is no longer an issue. And thus, the Tower of Babel forms a very powerful lesson about what it means to have motivation. Yes, humanity came together, but because they weren't united in their goals, once the languages was changed, the whole thing imploded. Much to think about. Shabbat Shalom.